One of the distinguishing features of Tele2 is that we challenge everything in a responsible way. Being a responsible challenger lies within our DNA, and it plays a vital role in our success as a business. We also challenge ourselves as employees and as managers, so that Tele2 is not only a great place to work, it's the right place to work. Our code of conduct is our moral compass. It covers the legal and ethical aspects of our working lives and the way we do business in every market and in every work situation. It should be seen as a beacon that guides us all in the right direction. It's what binds us, a contract that we all sign for our benefit and for the benefit of our colleagues, suppliers, vendors, dealers, consultants, and owners. Please take the time to watch this film and to consider the issues it raises.
As a telecommunications company, the services we offer help to connect people as never before. We are at the forefront of the movement to reduce the digital divide, helping increasing numbers of people to participate in a connected, democratized world. But to maintain a business model that is in tune with society, we also have to take responsibility for the impact of our operations. Sound business practices should prevail throughout our operations. That's why we've chosen to approach corporate responsibility systematically, according to the same values that we apply to all our business, the Tele2 way. We call it the Tele2 Code of Conduct. The code is based on the 4 areas provided by the United Nations Global Compact, covering human rights, labor rights, the environment, and anti-corruption, as well as industry-specific issues such as electromagnetic fields. It has been produced at the request of and in conjunction with our largest shareholder, Investment AB Kinnevik, and it enables us to meet the expectations of our stakeholders. Since it's important that the goods and services that bear our brand name are produced and provided in an ethical way, this code applies not only to every employee, but also to every affiliate, supplier, sub-supplier, vendor and producer that we work with, in the form of our Business Partner Code of Conduct. Consumer surveys have shown that the telecoms industry is one of the least trusted sectors. It is therefore vital to our success as a company that we demonstrate honesty and integrity in all our business interactions. So in order to secure the trust of our customers, every single marketing and advertising message, whether written or spoken, shall be accurate, truthful, and should comply with mandatory laws and our code. We process and store a huge amount of customer data, and this data brings opportunities as well as responsibilities. We are determined to maintain our reputation for integrity in this area. When handling data, we respect the laws and regulations on the freedom of expression, data retention, and customers' right to privacy. We do our utmost to prevent any unauthorized access to personal information, and we process personal data within the industry rules. We actively work to prevent fraud and abuse of our communication services. We take particular care in protecting the safety of children and young adults, and we support and implement efforts to block child sexual abuse imagery. All electrical equipment emits radiation and creates electromagnetic fields. We follow the recommendations of the relevant authorities for handling the fields that our networks create. The World Health Organization analyzed a large number of studies from the past 2 decades. They reported that no known adverse health effects have been identified as being caused by mobile base stations. However, we recognize that the research field of EMF and mobile phone use is such a modern development that it has not been possible to carry out long-term studies and dismiss the potential risks with a certainty. They will continue to study and report on the subject. suppliers and vendors. We should always provide our customers with what they need for less. To do that, we need to evaluate costs, requirement fulfillment, expected delivery capability, quality, and other relevant factors when negotiating with suppliers, vendors, and other business partners. Our contractual relationships with our business partners are important elements of the company's success. It can therefore be useful to make use of the 4 Eyes principle, where at least 2 people must witness or approve a certain activity. It helps to protect the company, both from dishonest individuals and honest mistakes. It's crucial that business decisions are made without any unjustified influence from a third party. Suppliers and vendors that attempt to make an undue influence on our purchasing decisions may be excluded from any future transactions. Any agreement with a supplier or vendor should follow the Tele2 Group purchasing procedures and ethical principles, which you'll find in our Business Partner Code of Conduct. Business integrity. Maintaining our integrity as a business isn't just a question of complying with pages of laws, rules and regulations. It's a crucial element of the Tele2 brand that affects how we are perceived. Anti-corruption. The Tele2 Group defines corruption as the offering, giving, soliciting or acceptance of an inducement or reward which may influence any person to act inappropriately. Tele2 recognizes that corruption has an adverse effect on communities and individuals, since it threatens the law, democratic developments and human rights and freedoms. Tele2 takes an active standpoint against all forms of corruption in all markets where the company operates. Tele2 does not tolerate corruption of any kind, and we report and escalate all suspected cases of corruption to the top management of the company and to the relevant authorities. Fair competition. Tele2 is firmly committed to fair competition and open markets, and we have a history of breaking monopolies. We believe that open markets work in our favor and help us to deliver what our customers need for less. We fight against closed market practices, cartel building, and price cartels in every aspect of our business activities. Conflict of interests. To avoid any risk of conflict of interest, you may not work outside Tele2 without our written consent from your manager. Business decisions must always be made in the best interest of the company, and personal relationships should never influence our decision-making. So, if you've been invited to an event or other form of hospitality, there must be a clear business purpose for your attendance. Travel and accommodation costs must be paid for by us, and you may not accept gifts or other potential inducements other than promotional gifts of nominal value. The limit we have selected as guidance for the value of gifts and benefits is a maximum of €50. The same rule applies if you are hosting an event. If your guests have the power to make decisions that affect our business, such as the awarding of contracts, you should do everything you can to avoid any possible accusations of bribery. Take particular care when dealing with public officials. If you are in doubt as to what is acceptable, bear in mind that the €50 rule also applies here. Your manager can advise you on the specific rules and regulations. Trading in influence. Take care when employing an individual or company to act as an intermediary on our behalf. Only establish a business relationship once you have performed an integrity due diligence or background check. You should ensure that all agreements are in writing and follow national laws and our own code of conduct. When it comes to dealing with government officials or government-owned companies, there is a risk that elements of a contract may constitute bribery or corruption. If you are asked to fund a social program on behalf of the company, for example, serious questions need to be asked. The most important being, who will really benefit from it? Political involvement. We are neutral with regard to political parties and candidates, and abide by the international treaties and national legislation on lobbying activities. Financial reporting. We follow strictly the accounting principles and standards of the International Financial Reporting Standards. The accuracy of our financial records is critical, so we must ensure that all transactions are properly recorded, classified, and valued in accordance with our accounting principles. Treating people with respect. Fair working conditions. Everyone is entitled to fundamental human rights, which cover everything from physical, sexual, and psychological harassment or abuse, to forced labour, child labour, and exploited and bonded labour. They also regulate the limits on regular and overtime hours, overtime payments, and your terms of employment. We are an equal opportunities employer. We welcome people regardless of their ethnicity, national origin, religion, disability, gender, sexual orientation, marital or parental status, union membership, political affiliation or age, and we expect you to share this positive attitude. We think that diversity acts as a lever for profitability, and it is to be celebrated throughout the company. Our aim is to attract and retain the best employees. We take great care to ensure that your pay, career prospects, and opportunities within the company will never be determined by your gender, age, ethnicity, or other such factor. Every employee has the right to equal pay for equal work. Occupational health and safety. Safety at work is always a prioritized concern. We take steps to prevent accidents and injury by minimizing causes and by providing appropriate safety equipment. Special care is taken to ensure the safety of anyone working in hazardous conditions or environments. Environment. Our role as a communications enabler helps to reduce not only our own impact, but also our customers' impact on climate change. Better communications means less travelling and paper consumption, which supports the global fight against climate change. We operate our business practices with a precautionary and sustainable approach to the environment. Our short and long-term goals are to minimise environmental impact and demonstrate respect for our ecosystem. We will constantly work to reduce energy consumption and minimise the exploitation of valuable resources. We comply with the applicable environmental laws and regulations and take the utmost care with any environmentally sensitive substances or processes. The Tele2 environmental policy also applies to our business partners as part of our Business Partner Code of Conduct. Reporting violations. Tele2 is a transparent company. This benefits us as a business both by reducing unnecessary risks and by defining us as a company that can be trusted. We are committed to the highest possible standards of openness, honesty, and accountability. And we believe that everyone has the right to voice any concerns that they may have. It is the responsibility of our managers to make sure that both the content and the spirit of this code are communicated, understood, and acted upon, and to encourage all employees to report any behaviour that may breach the code. If you discover or suspect any activity that may violate the code, it is your responsibility to report it. You can either consult your manager or send an email to our whistleblowing service at report.violation@tele2.com. All cases are handled with the utmost integrity and confidentiality, and you have the option to remain anonymous.
The Tele2 Code of Conduct is an incredibly important document since it affects every single one of us, including our owners, customers, suppliers, and all of our business partners. It has the authority and approval of the Board of Directors and of our leadership team. I think you'll agree that by signing this code, you are acknowledging that this is the only way to do business and that you accept the responsibility it entails. We are at the forefront of a new wave of corporate responsibility, determined to make a positive impact every single day, because that's what responsible challengers do.